Hello, welcome to It's Your Life, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way. This special guest that we have on the show today has been on the show before, and he is a real live hero. I'm talking about a superhero by many. And I tell you, bravery and just the energy that going and that flows through our system, especially in a time of need where others are needing help, and if you got it in your heart, you stop and you run into a burning building and save lives, you are considered. I kind of grew up with Dr. Michelle Cooley, and so she know him well, and just an absolutely fantastic person. And I think you guys are going to really get an opportunity to know what a superhero is. So, how you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing just fine. Having problems loading up these videos, and hopefully Sarah would be able to get them up sometime during the show because I think it's important that we show them. But
Well,
I tell you, I'm excited about this show today, and I'm excited about Fritz and Fritz Sam's, and just I think he just won an award, many awards, but just won an award in New York as kind of like Citizen of or Hero of the Year or something like that. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that?
well, Fritz is going to tell us about that himself when we after we introduce him. But yeah, much deserving, recognition for Fritz. Like I said, since I've known him since I was a child, little girl, and he's just been a really good guy, and he has a great heart. But really excited about the show, which is called "It's All Part of the Plan."
All part of the plan, I
It's
tell
all
you, and
part of the
it's all part of the plan, and things that we do in life, and we have to have some type of roadmap and some guidance, and we also have to be willing to take chances, and even if it requires us, just like I said, being a hero and just saving others. So I tell you what, Michelle, why don't you tell our viewers and listeners the title of the show again? I know you just mentioned it, the
plan.
purpose of the show, and let's introduce this great guest that we have on.
Well, yes, the title of the show is called It's All Part of the Plan. And we're going to have a conversation with father, husband, friend, and heroic Uber driver Fritz Sam and how his life has changed after the events in question that happened in August 2022 and what it means to him when it says it's all part of the plan and how this relates to his life. And we're going to talk about his plans for the future and how he wants to help other people. So let's talk a little bit about Fritz. Last August 2022, Fritz Sam made a detour while driving a passenger to LaGuardia Airport. Sam spotted a house fire and immediately pulled over to help. Fritz Sam was recognized and honored in New York City at the Red Cross 2023 Good Samaritan Hero at its Heroes Among Us gala. He was born to Haitian parents who immigrated to New York City in the mid 60s. He grew up in Queens along with one brother and two sisters, and he always had a passion for health, music, and acting. He studied music, business, and audio engineering at Five Towns College. He worked in the medical field for 15 years as a certified X-ray technologist. But ever since he turned 18 years of age, his father told him to get his hack license. His parents worked extremely hard owning and operating their own yellow medallion New York City taxi, and this allowed him to work as a yellow taxi driver. Since then, his driving journey has been an amazing one where his real education started and still continues today. He learned a lot about himself, and he has a genuine love for people, that each person is truly special and brings something unique to the table. Today, Fritz is amazing, wonderful, love of his life partner, Nikki, a proud parent to two wonderful daughters, Kaylee and Skylar. He continues to have wonderful relationships lasting over 45 years, and he's worked full-time as an Uber driver since 2015, and his journey is just beginning, and we can't wait to see what God has in store for him. The James Cooley Show welcomes back to the show. Sam.
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
how you doing, Fritz? Man? How
Hello,
you doing,
sir. Mr. Cooley. First of all,
man?
I appreciate you having me back. I want to say many thanks to you.
Man,
And
gotta
Mr.
have you back
Michelle.
here, man.
How
You
you guys
you
doing?
doing? You're doing just fine. You're doing a lot of great things, and I mean, all these awards and these television appearances that you've been getting are well deserved because I believe that we need to show that America, we need to show the world that there are real live heroes out there, and you are one, my friend. You are one of those heroes. So, hey, Fritz, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about you? And I know Michelle just mentioned New York, and you guys in childhood, so friends growing up, and then we're gonna talk about that day in August. Yeah, so you got it, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Will do. I was trying to pull up it's on my phone. I was trying to pull up a picture here. Let me see if I can see this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. Failed attempt on that one. But I was going to show you a black and white picture of my mom and dad. It's a beautiful picture. That picture is 63 years old. And it's, I think they had just got married at the time. And that's my favorite picture because to think that two individuals cross paths, decide to build a wonderful life together and to be with each other for such a long time. In today's day, 63 years is, kind of unheard of these days. And they decided to just live their lives together. We just lost, my family and I just lost, our wonderful mom on October 1st. Miss her terribly, but I have to say this though, we don't choose our parents in this lifetime, right? We're kind of born into our situation, right? I had the privilege and the honor to be the son of an amazing mother, and it's humbling. Like wow, like God, what did I do to deserve such an amazing mom? Because she was amazing. She was the best spirit I know on this planet, the most hardworking person I know personally. She's like she was a beast. She worked hard. All she thought and all she did was for her family, and her blood runs through my veins. So it's no. I see why I am the way I am. In the sense that I'm very much a family person, and my life is on my family, and my family is Nikki and my two girls, and I love my siblings, my mom and dad, and my family extends to all my good friends, people I know for such a long time, people like Michelle, her brother Lester, guys on the block, Dallas, Daniel. I mean, like, we got Junior, we got 229th Street, such an amazing block. And these are people who we still have relationships with, and and now, believe it or not, the message, in light of what happened, the message that I think I have to keep going is that as much as I appreciate that family, I realize that number one, we're all family. And so I move about this earth in a way where no matter who I'm talking to, they're my brother, they're my sister, they're my auntie, they're my grandma, all those things, So that's how I move now. And but grew up in Queens and did a lot of school. When I say a lot of school, I was one of those kids who had like many interests. I remember my first dream was to be a singer. Why? Because I saw Michael Jackson off the wall. He had that perfect moon-shaped afro. I mean, like there was not one strand that was out of place. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
So when you think about dreams, I mean, I didn't know if I knew what a dream was, but I remember thinking when I was that age and I was inspired by Michael Jackson, I remember thinking like, wow, first of all, I look like him. I was like, oh, I look like him, and I was kind of, I love the fact I looked like him at the time. And then, and I thought about, I want to be a singer, and I was like, wow. So I think that was like my first official like dream, when you think about what you want to do when you grow up, and I've had some opportunities to pursue those things and they were great. I mean, James, every time I wanted to pursue something, I remember everything was there for me for it to be successful. But for some strange reason, I would unfortunately undermine my own success, which is part of the human experience. There's and I'm sure there's a reason why I would do these things and stuff like that. But but one thing I always acknowledge, no matter what I want to do, God will put the people, the information, everything is there for me to do what I need to do. The only thing that I need to do is make a real decision to commit and move forward and create.
Wow. Fritz, so let's talk about, you were on the show before and you talk
Mhm.
about the events that happened August 2022.
Yeah,
And can you kind of just remind the audience what happened and
sure.
how that life-changing event changed you as a person?
So that morning was not a typical morning, which is strange. Normally, you know, I don't start work early like a regular Uber driver. So I say that, if you drive an Uber and work in the daytime, you need to get out the house like 6 o'clock in the morning to really capture the day. Grind all day, maybe work till like 6 in the evening, 7, 8, depends. But I always start at 9 o'clock because I drop the girls at school 8:30. And as you know, in Uber, rush hour. So I'm always missing rush hour. But that morning, Nikki was home because she promised to take the kids swimming that day. She wanted to be around to take the kids swimming because I was home taking the kids swimming. So I'm like, all right, I'm leaving work early. And my second ride into the day was a young lady named Jemima Wade, an aspiring book author. She was on the way to LaGuardia Airport. She had time, stuff like that. So we just kind of like just having a nice organic conversation. And halfway there, we see activity on the sidewalk, and we was like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" And I thought somebody was like fighting, or I see people filming. These days everybody's filming some drama. So I'm looking, and I see debris fall from the sky. I look up, and I see fire shooting out of a second-story window on a brownstone. This is in Bedford-Stuyvesant and Classen Avenue. And so I'm like, "Oh, fire!" So I turned to Mom, I'm like, "Fire!" I said, "Can we stop to help?" And she was like, "Absolutely." So we pull over. I got the vehicle, and I remember as I got out the vehicle, the first thing I remember was like, all right, I'm here to help, but I'm not going inside. I ain't doing that. I made a promise to Nikki. I wouldn't do those type of things anymore. When I mean those type of things, I'm talking about, you see people stranded or, you're always willing to help somebody, but you kind of put yourself in harm's way. I made a promise not to be reckless. I was like, oh, that's reckless. You got kids. You can't be doing that kind of stuff. Call 911. So I said, I'm not going in. So I run, make sure, hey, they might call 911. It was early in the morning. I don't think it was 8 o'clock yet. And I realized people on the third floor, they might still be asleep, especially somebody like me. I'm not a morning person. So I said, you know what? I started shouting, get out, fire, 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 just in case someone was sleeping upstairs. And I realized it was a fire 1 floor below them. And we all collectively started shouting, fire, fire, fire. I remember some people came out, and then I heard somebody next to me say, there's still someone inside. And something just took over me. It was the best way to describe it is that I literally had no choice in the decision to go in and not go in. I just had to move because there was a window that existed that if I don't do something now, or if somebody doesn't do something now, it's only going to get worse. And whoever's in there might have a very, very difficult time now trying to get out. So that was the clock I was fighting against. Run inside. Guy was coming downstairs. I kind of grabbed him and said, hey, come on, fire, let's get out of here. He kind of wiggles free. And I'm like, what's going on? And I see it. He wants to go downstairs. I said, okay, maybe he lives down there. Just mental note. Don't forget about him. I run up the staircase. There was a woman standing right outside of the door of the apartment that was on fire. And I'm like, hey, who else is here? Let's get out. Let's go. Let's get out of here. And she was like, oh, I don't see what the big deal is. It was just my AC was on fire. And I'm like, oh, man. I said, look, don't worry about the AC. It's not your fault. I said, let's just do the right thing. Let's just get out of here. I see that smoke? I said, smoke will take you out. Maybe fire's not shooting out that, flames are not shooting out that apartment door yet. But don't underestimate that smoke. It'll take you out. I said, let's just do the right thing and leave. And she wouldn't budge. James. So at some point I had to negotiate with her. At some point I was like, look, if you're not leaving, I'm not leaving. And I extended my hand like this. And then that's when she put her hands on my hand and we started just walking down the staircase, slowly. I kind of, just said some encouraging things, just say she's doing the right thing, don't worry about the AC. It's not her fault. Led her to the door. And then I said, okay, you go see if that guy's still downstairs. I run where the staircase is at. I'm shouting downward. I'm shouting down the staircase saying, hey, you down there? Come on. If you're down there, come on. I think I heard somebody moving. Then I heard, I said, listen, whatever you're gonna grab, just grab. Let's get out of here. And that's when he kind of said, all right, I'm coming. And he stumbled upstairs. And at some point, I grabbed his arm.
Hey, Fritz, I want you to hold that thought.
Sure, brother. Sure.
Hold the thought of the hands. Because we got to take a station break. But this is so interesting. We got to pick this right back up. I don't want to miss a beat of it. So yes, you are a hero. And I tell you what, if you want to chat with this hero right here, Fritz Sam, all you do is go to the comments, ask this great man any question that you like. And I will get you an answer, but I can't wait to get back from the break to finish asking him some of these questions. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I was fascinated with Fritz telling this story, and we got to pick it back up. And I want him to start from where the woman that did not want, she wanted to stay close by her apartment, but he finally gave his hands out to her, and she grabbed him. So Fritz, can you pick it up from there?
Yeah, sure, James. Yeah, she was hesitant, but she finally, put her hands on my hand when I said I'm not leaving without her. And as we went down the staircase, I just kept repeating encouraging words. She was in shock. And I just didn't want her to feel guilty about what happened because it really wasn't her fault. Things happened, And so get down the staircase, I lead her towards the outside. And I remember the gentleman who ran downstairs. I want to make sure he wasn't down there still. So I ran to the staircase, shouting downward, saying, hey, you still down there, brother? Come on up. If you're there, come up. Just grab what you need to grab and let's get out of here. At some point, he was like, hey, coming. And then he slammed up the staircase. I grabbed him by his arm and we head towards the exit. And I think when we got to the exit, that's when the first police officer and firefighter was walking in. So I kind of got out their way, let them do their thing. And I went down to where all the people were standing, all the tenants who were down there. I just wanted to say something encouraging to them. So I was just like, hey, you guys gonna be okay. Stay strong. And the woman who was in front of the staircase, I wanted to say something particularly. I said, listen, don't worry about the AC. It really wasn't your fault. You did the right thing. And God bless. I want to evoke God's name, because, I think when you're in your darkest moment, you need to draw strength from something other than, yourself. Because sometimes you just don't have it. And so I just wanted her to kind of dig into a situation, dig in a situation where there's a unlimited amount of source and power to draw from. So I said, listen, if I evoke, God, she's going to be filled up. And I tell you, when I said that, before I kind of broke eye contact with her and leave for the car, she had a different look on her face. And the look I saw is that maybe she realized the severity of the situation. She realized she was safe. And I think she was grateful. That's what I saw. I saw she was grateful to be outside. It was not the same woman who was in there, And we'll go back to the car, apologize to Jemima. I'm like paranoid now. I'm like, oh my God, what I just do? That's, Nikki's going to kill me. I'm running to a fire. Am I crazy? So I said, like, do I smell like smoke? She just laughed and like, no, come on, like, bro, you don't smell like smoke. Like, you just saved 2 folks. And I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, and it's kind of like, now you kind of like the adrenaline is wearing down, and you're like, oh man, what just really happened? Get her to the airport on time, and I didn't know that she tweeted because Uber contacted me a few hours late by text, and I was like, how did Uber find out about this? I was like, how much money does Uber have? What kind of technology they use? I was all paranoid. I'm like, is my phone bugged? That wasn't gonna tell anybody. And for it to unfold the way it did, like for it to be like, I mean, like with this like 5 months ago, maybe even 6. Things are still happening. I mean, here with you guys, talking about what has happened since then, and the Red Cross Gala last week, and it's just so many things.
Well, before we talk about that, Fritz, let's talk about the title of the show. It's all about the plan. Yes. Where did you get this title from, and why did you title it this way? And tell us about the plan.
When I was thinking about the title, I think a lot of times in life we think about our lives, and there's certain things that we want to do with our lives. And if there happens to be someone who's not sure about what they want to do with their life, don't worry about it too much. Don't stress that point. I say that because, a lot of times what we think we're going to have is going to be different, but you're still going to get something very valuable. I wish I could tell you what tomorrow's winning numbers are going to be, right? Mm-hmm. The best I can do is just take my best guess and roll the dice. And I think it's the same. You can have a vision for yourself, and having a vision for yourself, I do think it's necessary because you need to have something to chase. And I was chasing something for a long time. And the only thing was, it wasn't clear. It was kind of like you're driving a car and the window's kind of foggy. Mm-hmm. You can see out the car, but it's still kind of dangerous conditions to drive under, so you're still nervous, and so I was still nervous about my decisions about what I wanted to do in my life. But one thing I knew for certain is that I have a deep desire in my heart, in my soul, to help people. I have a genuine love for people because I know deep down inside, people are valuable. And I've always felt like that. And I always believed in God. And I think believing in God and believing in people are 2 wonderful things to put together. Because I believe any person who can pull from something outside of themselves and see the value in people, no matter what you want to do, it's going to be able to manifest. It might sound cheesy, but I really believe this. So the title, it comes from, I had a plan, and the plan hasn't unfolded the way I thought it would have, but I'll tell you, in the last 6 months, it seems like it's actually unfolding before my eyes. And it's amazing. And it's kind of mind-blowing, because before the fire, I knew I had things I wanted to do, but it just seemed like nothing was happening. But I knew something could happen.
Yes.
And then this event happens. And again, thank God no one got hurt in this event. Because I know me. I know if someone got hurt, I would have been like, oh, what could I have done? What should I have done so that someone wouldn't have gotten it? Maybe I should have did this instead of that. But God even was even merciful and say, you know what? Don't worry. It's going to happen, but no one's going to get hurt. Why I'm saying this? Because I believe that situation was a reminder to me that I need to remember who I am, how God made me. And how God made me is that I love people to a point where I'll put my own self in harm's way because I'm not thinking about myself at the time, because I'm thinking of others. So I believe I have a genuine servant heart. And that's a good thing. I embrace it now. So I know that is part of the plan, to be a servant.
Well, you know what? Dr. Eric Hall made a comment. He said, such a powerful story is all part of his plan.
Yeah.
So to go on that does everyone know what their specific plan is, Fritz? And how do they trust in their plan? How did you trust in yours?
Man, that's a good question, Michelle, because, like I have a lot of projects that I have on the shelf, even before August 17th, which happened on my mom's birthday. That event happened on my mom's birthday. Even prior to that, I had plans, but nothing was happening. I was still hesitant, and I'm not sure why. I know I'm not sad anymore. I don't think it's fear. I think it's faith. You know, we need to display more faith, because if you have faith, I think the relationship between faith and fear is inverse. It's like if one goes up, the other goes down. I think the more faith you have in something, I think the fear goes down. So if we increase our faith, then I believe our fear diminishes, because we just believe in a positive outcome, right? Is it guarantee that? No, nothing is guaranteed. I'm not guaranteeing anything to anybody. Well, I will guarantee one thing, is that if you have more faith in yourself, if you have more faith in something outside of yourself, I just happen to call that God. If I have more faith in myself and God, and more faith in people, I guarantee you it's a different life than if someone doesn't. That's something that's, I think it's foundationally solid. I think people can bank on that, you know?
Well, Fritz, do you believe performing a self-assessment of yourself, or anybody performing a self-assessment, is important regarding what their life's plan is?
Definitely. I think I remember telling someone this recently, that it's good to take inventory sometimes. Like, you know, sometimes you're feeling down about something, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna share this. I was taught this by I was in a mentorship program for many years, and the Brit Worldwide, and what they do is they groom leaders, and I was always attracted to leadership training, because I believe leadership training is really what they're using as godly principles, right? Success principles, godly principles, it's all the same thing. You know, it's just different names, different categories. So, you know, to be taught godly principles or success principles are things that you can could choose whatever principle you want. But whatever principles you choose, it will add value to you. One of the things they did, I remember hearing a talk, and the person, I wish I remember her name. She did a wonderful talk about, she said, one day, take a piece of paper and write down all the things you like about yourself, all your positive attributes, everything, you know. And if you run out, call your friends and ask them what are your positive attributes. So we all have blind spots. There's certain things you can't see in yourself, but other people will see it. So you write all these things down. Then on the other side of the page, you write down all the negative things about yourself. And I guarantee what you'll do or discover when you do that is that you have a lot more positive qualities than you thought you had. And sometimes we need to see it. You know, writing things down, it's a game changer, because sometimes we don't see it. You know, one minute we think about cereal, next thing we think about rainbows. How do you go from cereals to rainbows? What, Lucky Charms? I don't know.
But I'll tell you, Fritz, why don't you hold that thought, because
yes, sir.
When we come back, we're going to talk about your heroic thing that you did, how that changed your life and propel you on the trajectory that you are today. When we come back, we're going to talk about you being on the Jennifer Hudson show and other shows as well. Cool. And we're going to talk about the award that you just received from the mayor in New York about 4 days ago. And I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, you want to talk to this hero, all you have to do is go to the comments.
Let's talk, guys. Let's talk. Let's do that.
It's your life.
I'm
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
I'm so
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we talking to a real live American hero here that saved two lives a few months back, and I tell you, I'm curious to get from him, how do he feel, and how did this change his life? And we're gonna talk about that shortly, but I want to show you a quick video by him. Here we go.
Every day is different being an Uber driver. How many cultures do I meet in a given 24-hour span? How many different, people with different point of view? The person that leaves the home is not the same person that comes back home when the day is over. So it's a beautiful experience. I love it.
He did a really great thing, and I'm just really, really proud of him. It's just who he is. He's super selfless, and he deserves all the accolades that comes with it, if that's what you want to call it.
Wow. Hey, Fritz, first of all, I know we talk to you all the time, and what you did, you probably, it was just instinct. If you probably going to do it anyway, you don't think a whole lot about it, but it takes a whole lot of self courage and to run into a burning building. I don't know how I would have reacted. I don't know if I would have done that, but I don't know. I wasn't in that situation. You was in that situation. How did this, once the Uber company figured out what you had did, then almost every news station in the country, CNN, you was on all of these different networks. How did this change your life?
James, the first thing I want to say is, I didn't know neither if I was going to do it. So like you, I didn't know neither. I wasn't going to do it. And so you're right. I think a lot of times we discover things about ourselves in the moment. So, so the part of me, it's not like, all right, what happened. And there's a part of me is kind of like, it really shouldn't be a big deal, but I understand why it is. How has my life changed? And, the person that was driving the car that day before the event was a person who, still genuinely loved people. But unfortunately, that person wasn't really loving himself. That person lost a little bit of himself in the last couple of years. You have, things like, I don't know, politically, the country was like just, I don't know, splitting apart. COVID, this COVID phenomenon, the whole world just shutting down and just affecting everybody in a weird, really weird way. And plus just life, just regular life, just trying to maintain what we call a decent life, fighting the fight to make a life, progressively better. It was tough. It was tough. And I was not my best version of myself.
But how did this change you? How do you feel today and yesterday as well? Because I turn the TV on and I see you on every network, and I tell you, we're gonna play a one right now,
Okay.
where we were watching you not too long ago. This is the Jennifer Hudson Show. Here we go.
Y'all ready to meet a real hero? Our next guest is an Uber driver who rescued two people from a burning building, and he still got his customer to the airport on time. Please welcome Fritz Sam, honey. Oh my God!
Wow.
I was just, and I reading it like, what? You are a real life hero.
It's it feels weird, because I read comic books when I was a kid, so you dreamt about this stuff, but to be called a hero, to me, I'm like, I ain't doing anything special.
Wow, I
but
love
I understand
that.
why they say it's special, if that makes any sense.
That means you have a really good heart and you did it with the right intention. When you don't see that it was that's what we're supposed to do as human beings, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it was an early, my wife was home, so I got a chance to start work early. Did one little local trip, second trip, passenger was going to the airport. Cool, so we driving, 5 minutes to ride. you see people filming. You know, sometimes you see something happening. It just looks like something's happening, body language, and they're like, something's bad is happening here. And I'm cruising, and I see debris falling from the top of the sky. I look up, and I see this fire coming out the second-story window. And I turned my passenger, it's a fire. I said, can we stop? And she said, absolutely. And once I realized it was the fire, I ran out the vehicle, you know, running to make sure, you know, someone called 911. That's the first thing I thought about. Then I heard somebody say there's some people inside. There were a few folks already on the sidewalk. Wow. And someone was coming out, but I handed my phone over, and next thing I know, I'm just running inside.
And what happened when you got inside? Like, what was inside?
You know, there was a gentleman coming down the staircase.
Oh, my God.
I grabbed him, and I'm like, hey, we gotta go outside. He says, no. And I realized he wanted to go downstairs. So I said, you know what? You know, mental note. Don't forget about him. Let him go do his thing, because I'm going upstairs. So when I get upstairs, there's a woman standing by the door where the fire was happening at. The door was open. No flames were shooting out yet, but the smoke was there. And I'm telling her, hey, you know, anybody else here? We got to go. And at first she resisted. And there was some negotiating. We had to negotiate a little bit.
Wow.
It got to a point I was like, you know what? If you're not leaving, I'm not leaving.
Bless your heart.
You know?
My God. Wow.
So, you know.
And you still got your customer to the airport on time.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. I mean, I led her downstairs, you know, walked to the door. You know, I kind of showed her where the door was. I went back downstairs to the gentleman who was downstairs. By the time we got to the door, that's when the fire department and the police officer came in, and I kind of like just got out their way and let them do their thing. And and then got to my passenger. I was like, I said, I apologize for being late. I said, I apologize. She just laughed, and it's like, you know, like, you kidding me? Like, you just saved some lives. Yeah, and then we, you know, got to I was so happy I got to the airport in time. I would have felt bad.
You are a true testament. God always got somebody. Oh my God. And then I heard you drove me once.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, it was like, this was like either 2017, 2018, there was an event happening in Manhattan. You could tell good folks by the energy.
Oh.
And it was good energy. And, you know, when it was all said and done, you gave me an autograph of a photo. You know, I appreciate you gave me a photo. I was like, listen, leave her alone. Like, let her do what she got to do. You know, you got a lot of things on your plate. So.
Well, no, you the one out here rescuing the world, honey. I think I ain't got nothing on that. And I think you're so incredible. I think you deserve a whole vacation, honey. Okay, so let me tell you what you're getting. Let me break it down. You're getting a 5-night stay. This be sounding good to me. For 2 at Garza Blanca Resort and Spa in Cancun. This is for you and your wife. You'll stay in an Ocean View Suites, the superhero, baby. And you're gonna dine on a gourmet cuisine while relaxing poolside. Are you a lifeguard too? Baby, we'll be right back. You deserve it all.
Wow. I still gotta book that Cancun trip. Oh man.
Hey man, that was so wonderful, man. And Fritz, and I know we know you. You was at our wedding and everything. It's just doing those things, and I tell you, have it hit you yet that you did such a great honor that the whole city of New York honored you the other day? And I want to show that one as well. This is coming from the mayor. Normally I don't show back-to-back videos like this, but got to.
Red Cross considers dozens of people from across the country for its annual awards, which are given out tonight at its Heroes Among Us gala. And Uber driver Fritz Sam said that he just could not, in good conscience, drive past this fire in Brooklyn. And tonight he was honored as one of those heroes and getting the recognition he deserves. Brooklyn Uber driver Fritz Sam, now the Red Cross's 2023 Good Samaritan Hero for making a life-saving detour last August. He was taking a passenger to LaGuardia Airport when he spotted a house fire and immediately pulled over to help.
I feel like what I did wasn't a big deal.
He may not think it's a big deal, but the Red Cross certainly does. It took a team of people months to select Fritz as this year's recipient.
We get the committee together, we go through the background and the stories, we cry a lot, and we think he's such a great example of the kindness and the compassion that New Yorkers have for one another.
That kindness and compassion is something Fritz believes we all have within ourselves. He says doing big things, like saving people from fires, don't seem so daunting if you start with little acts of kindness.
Start small. You know, don't do the big things. Start small. You know, you see someone looks lost, hey, you know, do you need help? And then what happens, that's not a big deal no more. It's like muscle memory. You've done all those other little things that feel like a new baseline. It's like, it's not a big deal.
But beyond the stage and the recognition, perhaps the biggest reward of all for Fritz comes from two of the youngest in tonight's audience, his daughters.
I really love how Papa saves people from a burning building, and I'm very proud of him. I am really proud of him. He did something really good.
And tonight's awards also honored two very brave young men, a 16-year-old from Mississippi who saved 4 people from drowning when their car became submerged in water. The other recipient, an 11-year-old.
Wow. You know, that's incredible. We got my main man, Dr. Hall, here.
Hello, Dr. Hall. How are you? Salute.
Salute
Hey,
to
Dr.
you.
Hall, what do you think about this hero here?
Well, man, I mean, everything he said and everything, the videos and people, what they're saying is, you know, is evident. You know, he's definitely an American hero. You know, as his daughter said, you know, he got other 2 celebrities sharing the stage with him. But you know, I just commend you, brother. You know, it takes a lot of courage and heart to it's a selfless act. You know what I mean? And so it shows who you are and what you're made of. You know, when you can put service before self. You know what I mean? So, and then to come back and apologize to your client for saving people from a fire, man. I just think, man, look, it's all about, you know, like your title of the show, man. And, you know, God knows, and he places people in people's life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, man. And it was that moment that, you know, he used you as a guardian angel, man. And so getting your flowers while you're here, brother, congratulations, man. And I applaud you.
Thank you, Dr. Hawk. I appreciate the words, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You know, so Fritz, Fritz, you and I talked many times, and I tell you, what is your plans? Because what you did is great, and I believe that the world need to know. And I'm talking about on stages, speaking, writing books, etc. What are your plans on doing
in Africa?
Africa.
All that.
Well, you know, it's funny. You know, we have these cycles in life where these seasons where it seems like you have all these ideas, and then you have this season where these ideas can actually become real. And I feel like this is my season, and I need to, whatever God has planned for me, I just need to show up, you know, show up with the right spirit, show up with the right attitude, show up with the right work ethic. And if I show up with faith, show up with some excitement, show up with some appreciation, I think all the things I was worried about, you know, things that was like, you know, wearing me down will become what it was supposed to be, you know?
Amen.
I mean, so far the things I've been thinking about was I want to continue with the message because the message is clear. It's like I was saying, who are we for real, right? I mean, who are we? I believe, you know, who we are if we believe in the idea of God is spirit. That's who we are, right? So if we're spirit, then again, by default, you know, we're all family. And so
let me tell you, I'm going to take a station break, but
sure.
One of the things that I think you need to do, brother, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
I think you need to get an agent. I think you need to have them to book you all over the country, and they would pay. I mean, people with stuff like this. I mean, Jennifer Hudson flew you to the show. All these others would do the same thing. And you need to go and just deliver that message because we need to hear from heroes just like you. Ain't too many of them out there now. So when we get one, we want to hear more. And you know what? Then you create heroes. You create little heroes. You create medium-sized hero. You create. But I know you mentioned that you're gonna show up for God, but you also have to kind of do some action as well. So
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're gonna take a station break.
Sure.
But when we get back, Dr. Hall and we're gonna talk a little bit more with you about this. Remember, it's your
Okay.
life. It's your life, and if you want to be part of this great conversation with this great man, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask him any questions that you like, and I promise you, we'll get you an answer. We'll see you shortly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got Fritz Sam here, an original American hero. We also got Dr. Eric Hall here as well.
Yeah.
And I tell you, this is one of the most favorite shows that I have had because you can feel the energy. You can feel that service before self, not for accolades or any of those things. And when you put service before self, you are recognized. Maybe you don't even know it. That's what you did, but you're recognized because that's just God's way, in my opinion, of paying you for a job well done, my son. So
Yes, sir.
and
Sir.
as we was had to take a break, and I was telling you then I truly believe that your story need to be heard all over the country and probably in the world. And you're talking to the CEO and president of African Link, Dr. Eric Hall, right,
Wow.
right
Wow.
here.
It's humbling. It's humbling.
And so I don't know if that's something that you thought about doing, but what are your thoughts on that, Dr. Hall?
No, everything you said, I believe that while the pendulum is swinging, I believe that God has giving you a platform, of sorts. He used, God can use anything, man. And the great part is he used the Uber driver, right? So just think about when you think about the process of what it is that you do, like you said in your video, you meet people from all over the world, and it's about the messaging. You have something that people are supposed to hear, and that's why it's all part of the plan.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? So I think that it's not by chance or circumstance that this is happening for you the way it's happening. and this is where you're supposed to go ahead and take this attaboy, but take this show on the road. You know, the messaging that God has, man, is part. This is part of your ministry, and I think you know that.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
So,
it.
I think it's one of those opportunities, man. With when you got the Jennifer Hudsons and all the media press that you've been getting, man, all you want to do is keep utilizing what God has given you already to do. You know, and like Doc said, most of these platforms gladly have you on the show. You've been recognized around the world, so you just use that momentum and keep giving out God message, man. The Great Commission is for all of us to do. You know, when you said that we're spirits and we're all related and all those things are all true. So, but we also have a job that we're supposed to do, sharing the gospel to all four corners of the globe. So your messaging is in this message as you being a hero, you're God's angel being able to deliver a message to all his people, man. So again,
Wow.
congratulations for what you're doing, man. And I just think the greater things are yet to come for you.
Hey,
Thank you
Doc,
so much.
what
Thank you
type
so much.
of, we only got
Those are
about 3 minutes of the
powerful
show. Doc,
words.
what recommendation would you give him on how he could possibly get an agent or something to help him out with this? He's in New York.
Yeah. I'm gonna put him with I think we'll introduce him to Brother Kern. He was recognized. He's a police officer, 17 years NYPD. Doc Cooley, he's the one that introduced me to Tony.
Oh yeah, okay,
In
yeah.
Australia. So, but he was recognized by the former mayor Giuliani for being a hero to doing pretty much what you did. He ran into a burning building at World Trade Center and saved some people. You know, I lost 5 family members in the World Trade Center. So to know that you risk your life and put yourself in harm's way, God has got a reward for you for that. There's no greater accolade for service for self, man. And I think that Doc, everything we can do to help him do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna work with him, Doc. We got a better part of 2 minutes, but Fritz, you got a couple of medals that I want you to show our viewers and our listeners. That if you do, you have them there?
Yeah. So you see, while I was at the the gala,
bring it up toward the middle a little bit, other way. Yeah.
While I was at the gala, there was a young lady,
nice,
in uniform, and she waited patiently because a lot of people asked me questions, and she waited patiently. And then when we finally got together, she told me that she wanted to give me something, and she might as well just give it to me now. And it was this medal, and her name was Captain Zaida Merchant, and she told me that she was a captain for the United States Coast Guard, New York region, and she's the first. At first, I thought she said she was the first Black woman. And she said, no, the first Black ever to hold this position. Oh. And I was like, wow, I said, no, you gotta meet my daughters. So I said, hold on. So I called my daughters over, made the introduction, and she had an energy that was just she had presence, and I could just tell that this was an amazing person. And what was great about the gala was that I was surrounded by people who were, who believed in a cause, doing good around the world. So it's nice to be around that energy. And of course, you have to excuse me that, my daughter, I gave her my medal, and she kind of, she wanted the ribbon. so I didn't get a chance to, put it back together yet. But
can you turn the medal around? Okay, no, it's up there. Oh yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
On the back, it just tells you my name and I think the date.
Oh, absolutely. Hey Fritz, we are out of time, my friend. 30 seconds into the parting words. 15 seconds now that you want to leave our viewers and our audience with.
Everyone remember that we are all community. We are all one. We are all family. So just like how you see your mom, you see someone it's your spiritual mom. You greet them with the same love and respect. If they're angry, find out why they're angry.
Find out why they're angry. Hey, Fritz, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I tell you what, that
honor, my brother. Dr. Africa. Dr. Hall, appreciate you, brother.
No, sir.
I like to
Pleasure.
thank
Glad I'll
Fred.
save it
I,
a
I
stop
like
for
to
you.
I like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolute fantastic show. Most
Good
importantly,
job,
I'd like
Michelle, as always.
my viewers and our listeners for always being here, staying tuned. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place.
Yes.
It's your life. Talk to you later.
Straight out of my head. Guess what?